Well, guys, today could be the day finally for maybe some summer FIFA at long last. We've got 150 plus cards coming into packs today, 100 and some in the best of. A lot of really good cards in the FUTTIES team, of course, and just big SBCs, I would say. Once again, I wouldn't say we have tier 1 SBCs, but big SBCs, I would say. At least that we have leaked so far. They're not the transfer cards yet, and usually those ones are like very, very juiced, so maybe that's where they're saving up for the tier 1 cards, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. Thank you guys for joining and being here today. I know I'm an unk, okay? I don't know how the hell this keeps happening. I'm sorry. I'm all of a sudden I'm rapping in some of my videos. I don't know how this is happening, okay? If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. I'm now going to be super paranoid and make sure I check that every single time because somehow the volume changes. I don't know how it's happening, guys. I apologize. If you want to see us talk about the season pass, we talked about that in yesterday's video, and it looks very good. It's just unfortunate that the rest of content kind of is the same way it's always been. I think today's a pretty big day for content because there will be some point to menu grinding at least. You get a lot of cards at least in the menu grind now. We'll see if there will be SBCs to complete and stuff, but that's just a matter of time here. Milinkovic Savage came out, and yes, I think he's still going to be insane. I know that maybe he's not as juiced out as he was 2 years ago, but I think with these play styles, he's probably still going to be nuts, honestly. If you guys have used him, let me know, but I would still assume that because he's 6'8" and just because he had the aura in FIFA 23, I bet he still does have that. And the last thing with content really here, I guess, is that the exchanges do, once again, they do expire today at content time. So I'm going to assume they're not changing. Today is FUTTIES day, so maybe they do change slightly. I would guess no, because honestly, these aren't bad, right? They're definitely not bad. And are they going to make them a lot better? Or maybe they'll do 3 instead of 4 needed or something like that. I'm not too sure, but I do know that fodder will be interesting to look at today. I still think, we talked about that in yesterday's video, but I do expect it to rise up if these are better. And also one more reason that we'll get into, we get to the market watch, but it's a pretty big reason actually why we could see the market in terms of fodder really go up. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but let's just get into the leaks and stuff now. But okay, so we're going to start with the SBCs here firstly, then we'll go and talk about players that will be in packs, then go into the best of and stuff. So the first thing with SBCs once again here is you'll notice that they're good, but maybe not, they're not 5 play style pluses, right? But Bruno Fernandes looks pretty damn good though. He's got quick step plus, long ball, low driven, technical, and some nice stats there. Dong says he has tiki-taka, incisive, and pinged base, which is always nice to see. So definitely a nice card there, but yeah, it looks like you will not be seeing 5 play style plus SBCs, at least for the first week of FUTTIES, unless something massive drops midweek, which they have just not done for like this entire year, basically. And next up is Vitinha here, who I'm going to say probably looks like the best of the SBCs. Maybe there's one more that competes with that Bruno as well, and Vitinha here that we'll look at, but Vitinha has like crazy in-game stats, 99 base dribbling, anticipate, low driven, which maybe isn't the most useful for a center mid, but tiki-taka and ping to pass are obviously great play styles, and the stats on him look pretty amazing. So Vitinha is very, very good in game as well. I used his, what was it? The Portugal card I think I just used recently, and I liked him a lot. It was very, very good in game, and I actually think that anticipate on center mids is pretty hard to find sometimes, and it's very, very good and useful. But then next up here, we ended up seeing a center back, and that was Mickey Van de Ven. And take a look at this card right here. So he is 97 rated with 96 pace, 97 defending, 97 physical. He's got jockey, anticipate, quick step, and block. So, and looking at it again, I'd probably say he's the best SBC that you're going to see. I mean, it's hard to get a whole lot better than if he were to have all defending play styles, like a better card than that Mickey Van de Ven in terms of a 4 play style plus center back. So, okay, yes, people will be having a Van de Ven with possibly a 5th play style plus here, because you might be able to apply a 5th one to some of them, right? And then also the 99 FUTTIES Van Dijk at the end of the season. So you'll be seeing teams in, let's say, 2 weeks from now, some teams will have this Van de Ven and Van Dijk in the back, which is crazy. And also there is this right back SBC as well, and that is Mycon. So Mycon will also be getting an objective or SBC card, we'll see, but jockey, long ball, anticipate, and rapid on Mycon. Rapid for right backs isn't maybe the most amazing, because most people don't play with attacking fullbacks in this game, but still going to be a very good card. Mycon has that like bigger body type as well that helps a lot and looks very, very good. So like I said, I think these SBCs are going to be better than what we saw for shapeshifters, to be honest with you. It looks like that so far. Are they maybe S tier SBCs? Probably not, you would say, but I still think they're very good. Now let's take a look at the graphic of all the SBCs and objectives here. Yeah, here's the big one with some more icons as well. A lot of new ones we haven't seen yet. And we've got Julian Alvarez down here. If we zoom in a little bit, we saw these first four, so I'm not really going to bother with those right now. But Julian Alvarez down there looks like a pretty okay card, I would say. Emmanuel Petit, actually, I like his, well, I actually was going to say I like his playstyle pluses, but technical for a CDM isn't maybe the most insane. But Devor Suker, I like. 99 base pace, give him an engine and get him to almost max on everything. He might be a pretty decent card there. Miyama has a nice, interesting group of playstyle pluses. You don't really see finesse shot with quick step and long ball very often. Dead ball too if you're into that. But some nice stats on Miyama as well there. Alvaro, who also, by the way, I think he's like 6'8" or something like that as well. Another super tall CDM, and also they gave him technical plus with some all right stats there. We got Friday, who I'm going to assume is going to come out on a Friday. As we know, EA. Hansko, I want to say is how you pronounce his name. I apologize. Doesn't look too great with those two playstyle pluses. Rosicki, he looks okay, actually. 98 dribbling. Press proven, incisive, low driven there. Caicedo looks pretty good. Technical, rapid, pinged, and finesse shot. And then Loudrip you can't see. Only way to really see it is if I zoom out here, so I apologize. But Loudrip has rapid, tiki-taka, finesse, and trickster plus. And I think the rumors he's going to be an objective for sure. And the stats are okay on him. But yeah, what do you guys think about all of the SBCs or objectives? It looks better than shapeshifters to me, I think. But are you sad to see no 5th playstyle plus here? I think EA just want you to try and buy the paid season pass that first week and think about the cards you want to add a 5th playstyle plus to, right? Because you can on some of them. So I think that's more of a tactic than anything. But unfortunately, the truth is you can only give a playstyle plus or like one of the playstyle plus cards to one card. And if EA make 30 cards thinking to themselves, oh, but they can give a 5th one to them, then it's like, well, you can give 3 cards, maybe 2 or 3 cards a 5th playstyle plus and choose wisely, I guess. But let me know what you guys think about this. And we're just gonna get straight into the team because the team is crazy, okay? And I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say other than just looking at these cards. They're maxed out stats, like 5 playstyle pluses, most of them, or some of them, sorry. They're all 4 playstyle pluses, but some are 5 playstyle pluses. And Mbappe here, you know, he's got incisive, chip shot, which actually isn't that great, but incisive, quick step, technical, low driven. Pele's got 5 elite playstyle pluses. We saw that card already. Yamal's in the loading screen right now. Yamal actually has Trivella and Trickster, which some people maybe won't like that about that Yamal card. But this Maldini, I mean, hard to get better than that Maldini card at center back. And Lauren James here actually has 5 playstyle pluses that will be useful with like a maxed out card. So Lauren James is crazy. Allison's in there. This J. Roberto card looks nuts. Probably gonna have some of the most in-game stats in the game, I would guess. Carlos Tevez, sure. McCabe, sure. Matuidi looks crazy. And looking at this, it kind of shows you where we've gone from obvious FIFA legends. Like when you get to the summertime, you usually are able to tell like which are the most popular cards in the game. Like pick out 20 cards that you would say would be remembered from this year possibly. And you just don't have that this year, right? So picking the FUTTIES cards, EA just kind of pick it like a promo, I feel like, honestly. And there were some of them that they used in the season pass. I think that's where they used them all. Like there was like 4 or 5 cards in the season pass that you maybe would say were cards that you'd maybe remember from this year. Like Bombito, or I can't even think of another one off the top of my head right now, but Bombito I'm thinking of. There's more of them, but they use them all. And it just kind of shows you where things are at right now. Maybe that's a good thing because that means that the game's more Evo-centric. Is that what that means? I'm not too sure. But Koundé's in there. He looks very, very good. A Kohler, Clivert, who they give Trivella and Chip just to fuck with Clivert, because fuck you. Like, that's why. I just want a beasted Clivert card. Why can't we have that? No, you have to give him some bullshit. You just always have to, apparently. But Foudy there, who looks very good. Foudy looks like a great card. Yildiz and Thuram, my Juventus duo, looks great out there. Isco, Figo, Klaus, and Barnes rounds out the team, and Figo and Barnes look pretty good too. But yeah, okay, this is all the FUTTIES team players in packs. Also, we have greats of the game to go and look at here next, and that is these cards right here. So let's zoom in. We've got Scott, Shailene. These are all official stats, by the way, in playstyle pluses. They can get upgraded twice, so these 97s can go to 99, I believe, based on their nation's performances here. So just, you know, scrolling through quickly, we saw Foudy. Didn't see cards like Abley. Abley looks pretty good. Lynn Williams looks like a really nice combination of playstyles there. And scrolling down here, Sausage, Kessler, Pichon, and Bumpastor actually do look like some pretty good cards here. So I got a couple comments yesterday saying like, hey, it's a women's Euro. Why are you disappointed that it's going to be only women's cards? It just makes sense. And it does make sense. It's just kind of unfortunate. I would have liked to see, honestly, women's cards in last year's men's one and then men's cards in this year's women's one, right? Mixing the genders, because why not, I guess, at the end of the day. But all the FUTTIES, all the greats of the game, now combined with 125 specials in the FUTTIES Batch 1 re-release coming today. So if you want to pause the video when I scroll through these, you can. This is the full list here. So starting at 88s and above, which is a key thing we'll talk about just a little bit here. But a lot of cards that could be possibly good for some evolutions as well, which is nice to see these cards coming back into packs. Future Stars, Immortals, Grassroots Greats, Winter Wild cards and stuff like that. Then here's FUT Birthday. We got Immortals, Team of the Year icons I see right there. A few Team of the Seasons as well, it looks like. And the last page here, you've got CR7 Team of the Year, Saliba Team of the Year, Eusebio Team of the Year, Vieira FUT Birthday, who's been like extinct for a while because of the Evos and stuff like that. And here are some of the top ones here. And last year's best of actually was a bit worse than this in the batch 1. Batch 1 actually I think was quite a bit worse than this. It kind of made best of batch 1 pretty bad last year, and batch 2 looked more like this. So hopefully that means we're going along the quicker direction this year. But yeah, considering 95 Evos are the rumor right now, it looks like maybe we'll have Evos with Eusebio, R9, Salah, Lewa, Ronaldo, etc. coming like right away, which may be pretty cool. But I'm really hoping we get some nice SBCs, because that's just, it's gonna make the game feel summery again, right? Just feel a little bit more summer like, because there's gonna be 125 specials and packs. You'd hope to be packing a lot of them right now. You're gonna get 5 8410s a day, hopefully, mixed with a lot of gamble stuff right now. This is our first chance to really feel like just a little bit of enjoyment in July in FIFA, which it sounds crazy, but I actually really love summer FIFA. It's one of the more enjoyable parts of the year for me. And at least for me personally, EA's done a really shitty job so far, at least for the month of June, I would say, making it feel like summer FIFA. And strangely, we don't have many evolution leaks right now. It's just 95 rated Evos, and that's kind of the word on the street, and that's it. So I would expect that maybe means there's not a huge one coming soon, but I guess it just could be delayed. Not literally delayed like EA delayed it, but just not coming this Friday, if I had to guess. More delayed into the FUTTIES promo, because I would expect if there was a huge one, we'd probably have seen it by now. But okay, kind of a miscellaneous bit of news here, though. I saw this Witcher tweet, and Witcher says we might see a big surprise soon, and then in parentheses, bad one, which is weird because I don't know what that could mean at all. He didn't really elaborate on this, but Witcher's a very reliable source, so if he says we may see a big surprise soon, I'm going to assume that he is leaning towards it's going to be very likely, and a likely bad one. What do you guys think that could mean? Like, I was thinking to myself, maybe no Brazilian license or something like that, but then I thought, okay, well, can it really be a surprise when it wasn't even in the game in the first place? I don't really know. I feel like it has to be something that's in the game that now is taken out. Like maybe, yeah, like the top reply says here, maybe they lost a really big license and they can't use that club in the game anymore or something like that. Not really sure, but I would be looking out for this because I think Witcher's usually onto something here when it comes to news. So, okay, onto the market here. A very, very important piece to what this market's going to look like over the next, like, really couple of weeks, I want to say, because I think the best of batch 1 is in packs for 2 weeks at a time. I think that's like each best of batch. It's gonna be very interesting because I think a lot of these players, like 87s, 88s, 89s, are not going to be in packs because they will have special cards. So trying to look through here, we have the full list. Looking at 87s and 88s, I think it did a pretty good job of keeping most of them in packs, so it's not quite as bad as it could be. Like, for example, looking at a lot of these cards, the base gold cards for these guys actually aren't that high rated. Now, going over here, there's more of them, though. Like, for example, you got Rudiger here, you got Hansen, you got Sam Kerr, you've got Griezmann, you got Foden, right? So there's still a lot of guys in here that are high rated, but maybe not as many as there could have been. But what could happen here in one of these best of batches, it could be this one, is that, for example, if a lot of the 88s are not in packs, they go way up, and the 88s that are in packs that are now special cards will be minimum 10k, right? So say hypothetically there were 2 88s in packs or 3. That demand would be pretty crazy on those cards because they'd be the only 3 in packs. The rest would probably be up at 8 or 9k, and these 3, it would be tough for them to stay at a low price. So that's just kind of a hypothetical as to what could happen here with maybe 88s, 89s, and 90s specifically. Now 90s and 91s, because of the exchanges, I wouldn't worry about too much because obviously it's 89s, even though you can go higher than that. But 89s, you know, I would think about this because a lot of these guys will be in specials coming up. If the exchanges get better, that will even add to this, right? So this is definitely something to think about, that some of these golds really might rise right now because of the exchanges. And imagine they just don't come back out today. That'd be hilarious. But that's definitely something to think about right now. And obviously, if you have a card that's in the best of right now, you still want to sell before it. Like if you somehow have Team of the Year CR7 or say that Team of the Year icon Eusebio, I don't even know how much they're going for right now. Like, let's look and see. Team of the Year Ronaldo is 920. You still want to sell this guy right now. You don't want to hold on to this card. You me to sell him this second, even though he actually rebounded back up from what his lowest point was. I'm not really sure why, because he is going to be, sure, he might be in an Evo or something like that, but let that price fall, okay? Do not hold this card into the best of batches or any cards coming in the best of. Okay, we'll read some of your comments here. We got Hattrick 87. So regarding 120 FPS, I wanted to have somebody, you know, come in and maybe educate me and us about like the technical details of adding 120 FPS onto the console version. He says, keep in mind, this is a heavily physics-based game, and with some engines or titles, increasing FPS can do wonky things to physics. Having it on PC is a good indicator, but moving it to 3 consoles increases testing efforts, which may kill it for the devs. Lack of time to test that and go through Microsoft and Sony certifications, but it's possible given there's a performance and quality preset. 120 could easily fall under the performance mode. So basically, you're saying like it could happen, but it's not, because there might be actually a pretty big undertaking to it. I think that's a good assumption to have, is that, yeah, I think it would be a very, very good addition, but I'm sure it actually does take a lot of work to optimize that and you know, go through the effort to make that into the console version. And I'm assuming that they just don't have a time for that, because EA has been really strapped for cash recently, and they just can't hire a couple more people to really work on that kind of stuff. We know how it goes by now, right? We've got Asan. I butcher everyone's name. I apologize. Don't usually comment, bro. First of all, love the content, your take on the game. Thank you very much. Totally agree with Nep's tweet. I've been using 422 since week 2 of Team of the Season, and every time I try the meta, I struggle. My strikers and cams need tiki-taka, lol. I want to bring this up because what you said here is very meta, right? My strikers and cams need tiki-taka. It's one of the best playstyle pluses in the game. However, you also have the balance in where it's like, I can't use the 4-2-1-3. I need the 4-2-2-2. That's the thing. It's like, it's all about a balance, right? Some things that are meta, you're going to need, and you'll need them in your team. And then some things you're just not going to like. It takes a lot of testing to figure this kind of stuff out. You kind of have to play the game a lot to know the feel, especially if it's one of your first FIFAs. A lot of the times we resort back to like our basic FIFA thinking, if that makes sense. So if you've been playing FIFA since like FIFA 15, 16, use the formation you used to use a lot back, maybe say 7-8 years ago, whenever you need like a mental reset almost, and that will help a lot. But if you maybe played the game for the first time in the last year or two, then maybe you won't have that base formation to think about or fall back on. So maybe try and find that and find a formation that you like. Maybe you used it last year some, and just try that out, and then use that whenever you need to kind of like give yourself a little bit of a reset. But yeah, find the balance, right? Some of the meta stuff maybe you're gonna need and you're gonna love, but some of the meta stuff you might not, right? And Zakele says here, you know, we need to sort of increase the diversity in tactics, encourage creativity. It makes the community better in the long term, I think. And I think, yeah, changing tactics up maybe wouldn't help the toxicity of the game or help the game really that much in the long term. But I think what it would do is just add some fun to it. That's what I want to do next year. You know, I haven't uploaded gameplay a lot recently because I just haven't enjoyed the game that much. But I think what I'm going to do is really focus on just doing my best to enjoy the game for what it is and find the fun and create kind of the fun myself and change things up and try different things out. I think that's kind of what my plan is going to be for next year, and not sort of follow the norm too much. Sure, there'll be some things you obviously need and stuff like that, but I kind of want to try that and have that be a kind of a pillar of what I want to do for next year's game is do just kind of my own thing. Maybe introduce you guys and like other viewers to newer stuff you could try out, newer tactics, maybe some more fun stuff. That's kind of my plan right now. But yeah, I think that's it for me. Have a wonderful weekend, every one of you. Hopefully FUTTIES is a good time for us, and I love you all so much. Peace.